Hey everyone, welcome to yet another Tuesday News Day. As per standard, it's just me and Sinzar, best friends forever. Hey Sinzar.
How's it going?
Not too bad. I'm gonna be honest, not too bad. This banner is fucking me raw, but other than that, hey, it's good. It's good. Have you pulled?
I used all my tickets for Una, and I actually even did the first three parts of the first lap just to get enough tokens for a Titus.
Mm.
No Una, got some off banners, but yeah, no Una for me.
Well, it's because you disrespected her, all right? Because I saw your video. It was titled "Pulling on Yuna banner for Titus." Okay, that's what you wrote. So
I mean, it was for Titus. I wanted my one copy of Una to give the STMR to Titus.
Yeah. I would have wanted Yuna as well, both for the STMR, but also for the cool interaction she has with Terra's damage. That would be nice, but no go. I did though get EX3 of Titus, so that I'm happy about.
Very nice. He's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Well, of course, I don't have Yuna's STMR, so I don't know how much that hurts him, but I'm guessing it's not a huge amount.
Yeah, it's just less damage overall. Not
Yeah.
really anything like critical.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into this banner. So we have a shit ton of things. I haven't even sorted the things we need to talk about. Oh God. Wow, there's so many things, and like there's the VC, and oh my. Okay, so as we suspected last week, or as you said last week, it's going to be another FFX banner, right? Because it makes sense. You said we're more or less guaranteed to get these units on the next banner.
Yeah, pretty much. Same as JP. These released in a batch. So it was like the Unititus and it was the Orange Jack. So as
Yeah.
expected, we're getting it the same way in global.
Okay. So, as you said, we're getting the new Auron, Neovision base Auron, Legendary Guardian Auron, and then we're also getting NVA Jekt, as well as a new 7-star High Summoner Braska. Cool. Cool. Pretty cool units overall. I mean, if you like FF10, you're excited about this, I guess. So, do you want to jump into Auron at once? Like, what's his deal? He seems to be a damage dealer, not a breaker anymore.
Yes, he is. He doesn't break at all. I think like maybe he has like a token break in his kit or something, but he's basically not a breaker. Yeah,
Okay.
he's a DPS.
An SLB
He's
DPS to begin with.
Yes, he is like a mixed bag. Because people always compare him to Sephiroth because he was the next premium DPS after Sephiroth because Una doesn't even count.
Yeah,
Um,
sure. I get it.
so on damage calculations, not taking killers into account, so just pure and raw best in slot before killer modifiers, Auron does something like 3 or 4% higher damage than Sephiroth
Oh,
just because he does have slightly higher attack because he has an extra source of 500 attack, whereas Sephiroth doesn't.
so does this
Now,
make you feel bad?
not really, because that's where it ends.
Okay.
Because in every single other way, Sephiroth is better. For one thing, Sephiroth can burst quicker. Sephiroth can burst every single turn. Sephiroth has a brave shift. Sephiroth,
Right.
yeah, he's just like
Yeah, I mean, Auron. So what you're saying when you said the percentages, right? You meant on a burst occasion, right? But of course,
yes,
Auron can only burst every 3 turns at EX3, right? Well, I guess I mean, of course, he can probably burst with his normal LB as well, but that probably isn't as hard hitting, right?
uh, I'm not even sure what his normal LB does. Let me look real quick.
Like,
Oh
does it
yeah,
even say in the news?
yeah, his normal LB is similar to Sephiroth's base form LB,
Okay.
but even worse because once again, Sephiroth's base form LB is AOE.
Mm.
Auron's is not, so just one more way Sephiroth is better than Auron.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting this already, Since I want to face you with this criticism because you're very biased in here. I feel, but also the things you are saying do make sense. Like, they do make sense.
It is true. I am heavily biased for Sephiroth, but
Yeah.
these things I'm saying are like the general consensus among the
Mhm.
FFE population. This is
No. I
not
mean,
just Sephiroth bias.
it
Like
sounds very reasonable, right? If Auron can produce slightly higher burst than Sephiroth only every 3 turns, right? That's a big drawback in itself because. Remind me again, how do SLBs work? So once you get your SLB, you have it until you use it, right?
correct.
Right.
As soon as it like refreshes or whatever, it auto casts your SLB buffs. It fills your LB gauge to maximum. depending on the unit's role, it'll give you an auto buff for Arn because he's a DPS. It's going to give him a it's either 200 or 250% attack power and a 200% LB damage buff automatically. That only lasts for 3 turns.
Mm,
And that's automatically applied. So if you use the SLB within the 3 turns, you're going to get that buff. If not, it's going to wear off, and you need to buff externally or with his own buffs, etc. But
okay,
yeah, you can
okay.
hold it for as long as you want. But and a lot of people say, oh, it's not that big a deal because you only burst once in Dark Visions. That's like a very JP server themed comment
Mhm.
because it's just true on the JP server. The only content that exists is Dark Visions, and you only burst once. End of story. On global, if you've been doing the past like 3 Clash of Wills, they have HP locks. You got to
Yeah.
burst twice in a row back to back. So SLB units can just hit the road.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's
Not going to
fully
work.
true. And also, like, there is, I mean, so technically, also, I mean, or technically, Sephiroth can burst on turn 2 with his highest damage LB. That's the thing.
Correct.
Auron cannot. That's just fully impossible for him as well. However, it's still pretty cool to know that this is a very hard hitting unit, though. So this is kind of the first premium unit actually we're getting because again, Yuna is kind of in an awkward place.
Yes, and also he is. I think I already mentioned that he is wind element, where Sephiroth is dark. So
Oh, okay.
some bosses, that heavily resist dark and are weak to wind, Auron's going to obviously just,
Yeah, and vice
not
versa, right?
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and this is pretty cool. I know there are a lot of Final Fantasy X fans, and there are a lot of Auron fans as well. So I think a lot of people will be excited about this unit. So I think good for people, right? The thing is, I feel exhausted here because another unit that I would need to get EX3 for, and I don't even have EX3 for the first premiums yet. Like I shittered luckily and got both of them, but I have both of them at EX2. So, Auron at EX1 won't do shit for me. And getting into EX2 feels now like a challenge. So I don't know about this. Like I am starting, like I'm really appreciating the GL side of things and the content there because I feel I can appreciate my units more. To be honest.
Yeah. One more thing I'll point out real quick is people were speculating that maybe Auron's STMR would stack, like Tifa's was changed to
Mm,
stack for global. We do now have official confirmation it will not stack in
okay.
global.
So he won't be even better. He will be as good as he is in JP, meaning that kind of
Yeah,
okay.
exactly,
Good.
exactly. So basically, no change from JP.
All right, all right. Okay, but yeah, otherwise not much to say, right? He's an SLB unit with a slim kit, just like we expect of all of our SLB units. He does have this token defense break on his LB, so that's I guess nice. It's nice to not have to think about defense breaks if you're just bursting. Although I don't know how high it is, probably 80 or something, so it's not super relevant, I guess. So let's talk about Jekt. Jekt is getting an NVA, and I'm excited here. Like, you already spoiled this for me a bit before we started recording, but Jekt is literally the only Final Fantasy X unit I have gotten a lot of. Like, I have been screwed by every Final Fantasy X banner in the history of the game, including Yuna's banner. So I was really hoping that maybe Jekt here is gonna be something that's gonna help me. So is he good, Cinzar? Is he good?
No, he is just basically take everything that was good about Titus last week and like reduce the power by 40% across the board, and you've got Jacked.
No. No. I guess like he got an STMR update. Like it gives some.
It's a one-handed STMR, so you're never going
Yeah,
to use it. So
yeah.
yeah,
It's
like
also low attack for a one-handed STMR. Oh my.
yeah, his SLB is lower modifier than Titus. He has less flat stats than Titus. He has less passives than Titus. He has worse chaining than Titus. Like he is literally just Titus but worse in every single possible way. And everyone got Titus for free last week. I have no idea what is the point of even designing Jekt the next week after they just gave away Titus. What
Yeah.
is the point? It is so they should have picked like Lulu or something as the other NVA.
True. They should have picked Lulu. Actually, that's a good point. I mean, I'm gonna have an EX3 eject for bonus purposes. So at least there's that, I guess. Because I have like 500 ejects. Okay, like I don't think even I'm exaggerating. Maybe it's like 490, but it's like around there. Um, okay, okay. Disappointing, disappointing. Does he have anything that's notable? Like, would he have something for your party or something like that?
You mean like a unique buff or something? Not
Yeah.
Not really. Like he is completely forgettable. He's like just the same thing as like Rufus or Barrett or like all those other NBAs that got
No.
NBAs and you've never used them and you're never going to. That's
Oh,
Jet.
that. Well, no, 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 no. You can't say never. I mean, obviously, people are gonna put him in their FF10 bonus teams. So
Okay, well he'll be on the bonus teams for a week. There you
yeah,
go. There's
exactly.
there's his
That's.
moment to shine.
Hey, hey! It's exactly like it was when he was first released. He had like a week of use, and then nobody ever used Jekt ever in the history of this game. So yeah, yeah, I remember that. I remember being hyped for him for a week, like, and that was it. Okay. Then we also get High Summoner Braska as a 7-star. Is this a 7-star that has like some type of unique ability or skill that you might want to use in the future?
He has two things to mention about Braska. First of all, his TMR. His TMR is amazing. Everyone's going to want multiple copies of this TMR.
Right.
Um, it gives triple bolting strike chaining frames to anyone. It is locked to water elements. So if the boss like absorbs water or is so resistant you can't even hurt the boss, that's not going to work. But it is a water triple bolting strike frames that you can give to anyone. And I use this constantly in JP like Dark Visions for
Right.
support chaining
Okay.
or chaining with like someone else. It's amazing for that. So
Oh.
I'm probably gonna like you will see him on day one just to get a copy.
Oh, okay. Cool, cool. Well,
Um,
that's good to know. That's good to know. And it's nice that he is UOCable. So if you have those UOCs, you can just. And I know people are sitting on like hundreds of them. So hey,
mhm.
this sounds like a good opportunity to spend it. Okay, so moving on to Aaron's card, is there like this is a standard premium card, right? 125 attack, a lot of attack passive, and so on, right? Fairy killer.
Yeah, it's very very similar to like Sephiroth or Tifa's card, the other premiums. The only
Yeah.
the only kind of like worst thing is, in my opinion, is instead of LB damage, it's got percent attack, and I
Mhm.
consider LB damage far more valuable. So once again, worse than Sephiroth.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fine. Fine. You're biased, but also, as I said, things you're saying do make some sense. They do make some sense.
Yeah, but of
Okay.
course, it is still a very good card.
But but
It's also got 100 Fairy Killer, which is great. So
yeah,
it's a good
it's
card.
a rare killer. And again, just to remind users, I think everyone knows this, but I'm mostly reminding myself. But again, this is a premium unit, meaning you only get the card if you awaken Aaron. Why do I want to say Aaron? I don't know. If you awaken Aaron to EX3, right? So you're not getting this card because you just pulled Aaron, okay? So keep that in mind. Yeah, so should we talk about Jekt's SDMR upgrade? It's now filling 3 LB per turn. So there's that.
Yeah, that is
Such a like
kind of a
why?
joke.
Okay, okay. So his sword was always kind of forgettable because he came out when we already had Hyo's sword, which is like more flat attack. So it's kind of so they buffed it to add 3 LB fill per turn. Like why?
I
Why
mean,
even do this? Why even go into the JSON file and make this change? It doesn't make sense.
I guess technically speaking, if they're going to buff it, that is a way to buff it in a way that matters. Because the only time you would ever use the sword is on a support unit that for some reason can't use daggers. Like if you want fill rate on a
Right,
support
you
unit,
need
you
fill
can't use
rate
daggers.
and LB fill like in a single item, then sure, it's a decent item, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, but as far as DPS goes, you're never going to use this.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. And then we're getting a raid, right? Operation Mian, and not much to say about that, right? It's a standard raid, some equipment.
Yeah, it's a raid. You go in, you one shot it for 2 weeks. You farm up. You get your inventory box overloaded with cactuars from the raid summon.
Right. Right.
Usual.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And then we have the next DV. So it seems to be a interesting DV. What's the element on the Master's Phantom domain? Um,
This should be the Phoenix DV from the JP server. This
mm,
was supposed to come out with the Celeste banner.
mm,
So this is like really delayed for global.
okay.
I will point out that we are going back to the janky rewards. People got 200,000 lapis from Vision World. Well, that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, of course, of course. We're going back to,
Well,
oh, you're
you
getting 5
you
NVEX tickets.
you
Congrats.
you say of course, but in JP they
Oh,
kept the lapis reward for every Dark Visions going forward. So global is like
Really?
putting. Oh yeah. JP. Once they
Oh
started doing lapis
my.
rewards, that was just the standard going forward. Vision World or Dark Vision, they all gave lapis rewards going forward. So this is like a global nerf.
Oh my.
Um,
That
yeah,
sucks.
but the final boss is Phoenix. We mentioned this before. This is when the final bosses and they start getting like dramatically element locked. So Phoenix
Okay.
is negative 400% ice resist and plus 120 to everything else. So
Oh, oh ho.
you have to have ice.
And it's and now it feels like okay, so units like Sephiroth and Tifa and Auron, of course, are getting
Yes.
slightly negative. I mean, you would, of course, Lara isn't leaving anyone's team anytime soon, but you're preferring now units that actually are not element locked at all. Like
Yes.
you want your Skies and Laras and stuff like that.
Yeah, like if you have like no options, you can still use Sephiroth and stuff. But these are the kind of fights where like
So wait,
Sephiroth.
are we bringing Kurasame to this DV?
Yes, Kurosame is a
Woo!
great choice for fall. Oh, I should mention also you only got 4 turns to win, or is it? I'm almost certain it's 4 turns. It might be 5 turns. I think.
Hey, I have Kurasame at EX2. I am fucking ready for 4 turns, okay? I can do this. I can do this.
Excellent. Yeah, because
Awesome.
after a certain amount of turns, these bosses go permanent mitigation. So if you don't finish the
Oh,
fight in either 4 or 5 turns, then you can't high score. Period. So you
okay.
have to do it quickly. So there is no like 12 turns of setup for Angela or anything like that. You've got to speed clear it.
Nice. So you're probably bringing like Celeste or Yoshi, depending on like what units you have access to and so on. And then you're gonna be bringing your non-elemental damage dealers. I guess like Angela users are super fucking happy right now. But of course, as a Kurasame user, I'm definitely looking forward to this opportunity to bring him. That's nice. Nice.
Mhm.
Cool. And we're getting the harp now, 256 magic harp. That's pretty nice, I guess.
Uh, well,
And
we do
then
have Olivera and Bulwark for a harp in peril, so it can be useful, I guess.
yeah, it's decent. Like Olivera would probably prefer their own harp because of the flat MP on it. But again, other mages might want to use this together with Olivera or Bulwark's Imperil, which can be quite significant actually. Yeah, and we're getting the katana upgrade as well. I wanted to say its name, but I'm gonna like be ridiculed by weebs everywhere, so I'm not gonna pronounce it. Hey, Caesar, how do you pronounce it? Like, what is it?
That is Dark Massamoon.
Dark Massamoon. All right, that's how I'm gonna pronounce it too from now on. Excellent. We're also getting 2 crowns, right? That's interesting.
From the EX stages, yeah. Same as the Final Fantasy VII EX stages when you fought Whisper Bahamut and Lord of the Sewers.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You've
That's
got
nice.
three.
So will Titus play a role here?
Yeah, he can. Yeah, you got to win in 3 turns, and if you got your Titus EX3, he can do his SLB in 3 turns, and he is absolutely a good choice here. So yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. So we're getting two. We're getting the Defender Z as well as the Spheromorph. And both of them are the same. You need to kill them within 3 turns. So I'm also assuming that if you pulled Aaron here, you're going to be able to destroy this if you get him to EX3, of course.
Well, these are overall not super hard.
Okay.
So even if Arn is like EX1 and just entrusting his base form or his non SLB
Yeah, he is
Limiverse.
getting a lot of stat boosts, of course. He's getting 300% parameter boosts in this. So yeah, you don't even need his SLB, I guess.
Yeah. These are really not too hard. Players that are like newer, might have a little problems with it, but for like veterans, you're gonna go in here and steamroll this.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and then we're getting another Chronicle, I guess. Here. So anything worth talking about? There is a Massa Moon.
It's the yeah, it's Arin's like Sephiroth has a special katana. Well, Arin gets his special katana, but his
Okay.
is actually the STMR of the original Arin upgraded,
Oh.
and you can upgrade it to a 2-hander for the variant. So this is actually
Oh.
going to be Arin's best in slot, and it's not time limited like Sephiroth's. So that is actually kind of
Okay.
nice.
So yeah, Oran users are definitely going to be farming this fight then. And yeah, I guess bonus is a bit tricky here though, because like everyone should have Jekt and Titus, right? So if you're pulling Aran, because it's only Aran, Yuna, new Riku, and Jekt and Titus. Um, So it's kind of going to be tough maybe to have a full team of bonus units unless you actually have all the 5 new Final Fantasy 10 units. And if you do, like fuck you, but
Uh,
also good for you, I guess.
well, the 7-star units do give a 10% bonus, but I mean, it is going to be a little trickier to farm this than like the Final Fantasy 7 Chronicle was, etc. But because Global made the Chronicle farming super easy, like worst case can take you like 5 extra runs, and you got an entire week of really nothing to spend
Yeah,
energy on,
exactly.
so it's fine.
It's a nice side grind, really. And one thing I want to mention last before we wrap up, I do have a question for you as well before we wrap up. But I want to say that the fan favorite event has returned finally, and we've been asking for it so long, and I'm so happy to announce that the daily 10 random fragments friend point summon has come back. All right, hype it the fuck up.
It's kind of funny because this is great because I've
This
got
is
quite a
great.
few
Okay,
units.
I never thought I'd hear that about this.
Hey, I've got a bunch of units at like 4 out of 5 between like, part of a summon. But this is great because it's going to be kind of funny because maybe people don't realize this. The last friend point summon, you needed to have like a backlog of friend points in the mail. And since then, I've only gotten from like playing the game and such and gifts about 52. I checked like an hour ago.
Okay.
About 52,000 friend points,
Oh,
meaning you're going to need something like 70,000 additional friend points in your backlog mailbox to be able to even do this if you did the previous friend summon.
awesome. In order to get 10 completely potentially useless random fragments, because they are gonna be completely fucking useless to 99% of the player base.
Yes.
I mean, I guess like, oh, you have like your Kresnik. Oh, wait, is Kresnik even in the pool? Yeah, I guess probably, right? Um,
For the fragments, it should be every single unit, including even Arn.
yeah, yeah. So like, if you have your Kresnik at like 80 out of 100 for EX2 or something, and you like get only Kresnik fragments, like 2 fragments a day or something, then maybe. But otherwise, yeah, you're just I don't know, why is this returning? That's what I want to say. That was the joke. Why is this coming back? Nobody wants this.
Well, if they're going to keep running it on a normal schedule, it's not as bad as it was before because you can over time,
But then they need to run it
reach like a
once a month. And as you said, how the fuck are you gonna get all the friend points?
yeah, the getting enough friend points to do all 14 days of this is hard.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know. I just think this is silly because I don't even see. I don't even see where it was. Like, if this was something like the JP dungeon where you would like go in with 5 units and you would get fragments for those 5, even then it would be hard to sell for 14 days only. But it's completely. I don't know. It's just completely random. It's so stupid. I guess like Hans
Mhm.
has a point. Like, would you rather use friend points on the normal banner? Yeah, sure. Okay, it's a
Well,
way
no,
to
well,
use friend points.
yeah, this gives you a way to do friend points, so it's better to have this than to just like sit there at 100k friend points, never spending them. So this is better than nothing.
Yeah, yeah, true, true, true. Okay, okay. Well, fine, fine. It's okay. All right, so Cesar, I have a question for you before we wrap up. I was thinking about something lately, and I think we've talked about this before, but I find myself always having a ton of units that I'm not getting any chance to use in FFB. Like I've pulled stuff like Hawkeye, Duran. Well, Kurasame, sure, he's getting to be used now, but also Cyan. And I feel like I'm just forcing myself to use them on certain content. But I would really enjoy if FFB had a mode where you could bring non-top tier DPS because you're not scored on like the damage you do, that's recurring and gives you a chance to kind of test out the power of your new units. Do you like is there something like that in JP, or do you have any ideas of what that could be?
Um, we're actually due for it really soon, but JP once again brought back like boss rush events, and that'd be kind of
Oh,
what you're
that's
looking for, I
definitely
guess.
it. I would love a boss rush. Like if it came like once a week or
Uh,
once a month even, it would give me a
well,
chance to use these units.
yeah, the catch is they are not element locked, but element favored. Like the one that we're
Hmm.
due next soon is the one that came with Summer Physalis. But that one you need like water mages. It's really heavily weak to water and magic damage. So while you can do it with like Sephiroth and stuff, you really kind of want it, or like I guess your favorite would be on like Duran and all that. Like they can work, but it obviously it's designed to sell Summer Faisal, so you kind of want water mages.
Okay, okay. Well, I mean, as long as I get something where I'm not gonna be severely gimped in my rewards if I bring Duran, I'm fine with it, right? Like I don't care if I couldn't beat it faster.
Well,
I guess I don't know.
it yeah, it does have a turn limit, and
Ah, okay.
it is not hard to do the turn limit, but you kind of need at least current day DPS that are decently geared to do the turn limit. So,
But hey, okay, I just got an idea because Hans said something in the chat. He said like, sounds like Chamber of the Vengeful. Okay, okay, listen. I'm gonna pitch something now. So imagine if we did have a Chamber of the Vengeful, but you can never bring duplicates. All right? And this is a permanent event that runs forever, meaning that, and it could have like a huge set of rewards, like, oh, you've beat this event with 200 units or something. So potentially, like every time you pull a new really strong damage dealer, or a new tank, or a new healer, or whatever, you would want to enter this chamber, right? Because you're waiting to build yet another team to go into this chamber.
yes and no. Like the idea is good idea, but think about that. So in your concept, you just pulled Sephiroth, and you're going to the egg exterminator. Like, is there any challenge whatsoever there?
No. But it would have to like be okay. Yes, you're right. It would have to kind of be tweaked on. I don't know. I don't know if this is easy to do, but it would have to be tweaked in some way. And does that matter really that much though? Like, okay, you pulled Sephiroth like the top dog, yeah, he's gonna obliterate it. But maybe if you pulled like Duran or you pulled Cyan or Kurasame,
Well,
you're
all of
gonna
that,
maybe
like,
go in and take a couple of turns.
well, yeah, but this is like content designed for 7-star Esper before her rework. So like you can take in a healer and use like auto
Yeah,
attacks,
no,
and
no, no, no.
the
I get
boss is
that.
gonna
This
die.
would need to be something new, right? It would need to be something new, and maybe something that kind of levels up with the meta, even. Or I don't know, like how you would do it, but it would be a way to kind of um, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of ways where I could actually get some satisfaction out of using these units that I can't use on a recurring way. So maybe like in 3 weeks from now, I can actually use Cyan again. Because one of the things I did was my very first clear of level 99 cow, this cow, I actually used Cyan. Made me super happy. Wait, no, it didn't. Not level 99, level 89. Made me super happy I could do that. Um, but I want
Well,
more of that. And I don't want it to wait for a cow that's like, elementally favored for this unit. I would be fine with pretty simple content as long as, it's not a
uh,
raid. It's like,
I,
can't be a raid.
I was gonna say this Dark Vision's coming up. The second to last boss is Kokuryu, and it is one of those heavily locked to Earth physical. I think it's just Earth period, not physical, Earth
Okay.
physical or magic. But yeah, it's one of those that Cyan's a really good choice for because it's Earth only.
Hmm. Okay. Well, Cyan and Duran then I guess might have, because they do approximately similar damage. So maybe I'll be bringing both then. Okay. Well, still, but that that's just one DV, and it happened this time around. I would just want to be using these units I enjoy a bit more. And like Cyan, okay, he has a fucking SLB. It takes 4 turns until you get it. So if I'm using him to farm a raid, I'm not using the actual unit ever. I'm not using what his unit was designed for, and that hurts me. So I don't know. We need this, Gumi.
Yeah,
Please think of a good idea.
I agree. Like these days, you're using like the 3 or 4 top meta dogs, and then all the rest of your entire roster is just benched, and it kind of
Yeah,
feels bad.
and it does feel bad because I mean, a part of FFB to me, and the reason why I keep spending money, because you all know I am not a try hard anymore in neither DV or cow. I enjoy them. I try to do well in them, but I don't try hard. I don't like spend that much time that I would need to. So why do I keep putting money into FFB? Well, because it's also a unit collecting game for me, right? I enjoy collecting these units that mean something to me, that have a nostalgic connection to. But I'm really starting to get tired of that because I don't really have a reason to use these units. Like I've used Cyan once, and that was this cow.
Well, I guess Global did do it a few times for you, Barrows. They gave us the metal training dummy events. For those, you can take all your favorite units and you're fine.
Well, hey, actually, I'm laughing, but that's not wrong. That type of event would be fine if it came recurringly. I'm almost thinking about something that's actually a recurring event in FFB that's like every week or every 2 weeks, it refreshes with new rewards and you get to run it with whatever the fuck you want, but it's not trivial so that a 7 star can sneeze at it. It would still, like, I want to feel powerful. I want to kind of, oh, I took Cyan to this event last week and it took me 5 turns to kill the boss. But this week I shittered Aaron and I took him and it took 2 turns. Okay, that doesn't actually technically work because he's also an SLB unit, but you know what I mean. Kind of, I still
Yeah.
want to feel the power that different units bring and how they take different amounts of turns. I used to do this by just running Asura. Like I would just bring all of my different damage dealers to that. But since that is so crept, and also that has no rewards, it's not giving me any rewards for running Asura again.
Well,
I still
yeah.
need the rewards for this.
The boss rushes really do fit exactly what you're saying. They're hard, they're challenging. You need to use good units, but they're not tuned so much where you can't take off off meta stuff. You can still take them. So
Right, right.
there's only two that I can think of coming forward. The one that came with Summer Faisal and the one that came with what's his global name, Turian. No,
Mm.
Tulian. Yeah,
Yeah,
he had a boss rush as well.
yeah.
There's
Okay.
only been two so far in JP, so hopefully they make more.
Yeah, I hope we get something like that just recurring, because I think a lot of people will just feel better about their pulls. And I also think people will just feel better about pulling for units that are not deemed meta, right? Because we have so much information now. We have JP going ahead. Like, we are doing these news days. You're doing your news videos as well. Like, people know what units are going to be good in advance, right? So if there was content you could still enjoy other units on and you're like this super big fan of Yuna, well, you have another reason to pull for her. So please, something. All right, sorry, I am ranting too long. This episode is too long already. I think we've said everything, right? Have we forgotten something?
There's like some free pulls and all that, but not really worth covering. But yeah, it's pretty much it for the week.
Yeah, I mean, the free pulls, the 10 free pulls are continuing until like the 16th of December. So that's going to continue for a fair bit. That's good.
That well, they're also giving the free Dark Visions pulls per day,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah, true.
Pause is in the limited selection pool, so that's kind of awesome because she's really new and her SDMR is great.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, that's, I guess, not bad. I just pulled a pause, but sure, sure. Like, Terra has been in these pools for so long. I soon have 2 EX3 Terras. All right, so that's fun. But yeah, okay. Thanks for this week, I guess, Sinzar.
See you next time.
See you next time.